Before I start the video, I would like to mention I will not use Just a GD player's footage in my videos anymore, but I can't change any of the videos I released before his exposal, so they're still going to be in those videos, obviously, and I apologize for that. With that out of the way, on with the video. So Abyss of Darkness was raided, Acheron and Limbo are both on the verge of being verified, and there are many more projects on the way. There are so many upcoming top 1s, it's ridiculous. Like, remember when there was a time when there was at most like maybe 10 notable upcoming top 1s that anyone was even excited about? Yeah, well, that's not the case anymore. There's like over 50 of them. A good half of them just plain suck, and they will probably suffer the same fate as levels like Arcturus, being forgotten and not even rated, Sonic Wave Infinity not actually being top 1, or Sakupen Circles being nerfed and not rated. And out of all of these mid-upcoming top 1s that are purely created for just some quick views, there are a few out of these 10s and 10s of upcoming Extreme Demons that stand out as even worse. Remember, I said upcoming top 1s get views. You know what else gets free views? 9 Circles levels and sequels to former top 1s. Well, the subject for today's video covers all these boxes, which leads to this. So, Aquamarine. It's a sequel to Sakupen Circles, which is technically unofficial, but it's more official than the LSD trip that is recirculation in my mind at least. I mean, recirculation's never getting verified. I mean, the gameplay in this level is literally just Sakupen Circles, but it's all harder, and it's not even aqua, it's the darkest shade of blue ever. What are you, colorblind? Okay fine, that's a nitpick, but everything wrong with Sakupen Circles is translated to this level intentionally. The short runtime, the garbage balancing, the unoriginal gameplay, everything. Sakupen Circles was originally carried by its history, at least in my opinion, and it kind of shows how far we've come since 2015 skill-wise, or whenever Nick24 originally decided to gift the world with Sakupen Circles. And that itself barely warrants a remake and a verification as a top 1, but definitely not a sequel. The gameplay is about as original as your average daily level, and about as interesting as Void Wave. It starts off with the boring cube that you would probably see in any Impossible 9 Circles level, then some boring ship and ball gameplay, some more boring cube, and then just a boring wave that's basically just Sakupen Circles but less creative. Not to mention, they could have just extended the level by like 10 seconds and actually make it, a long level length so that they at least show that they put a little bit of effort into it, and also, add some difficulty to make it actually top 1 worthy, because I don't think this is top 1 by any means. I mean, the time it would take for someone like Kirsch to get desperate enough to try to verify this for free views or something, by that point it would probably be to the point where Orochi's already been verified and 2.2's been out for 6 years, like no one cares about this level. Well, actually some people do, and we'll talk about that later. In terms of decoration, Sakupen Circles, at least to me, is just objectively bad, but the reason most people like it and defend it is because of its history and maybe because they actually like the deco, but Aquamarine has neither of those. And if you like Sakupen Circles, that's fine, I respectively disagree. Aquamarine shouldn't even exist though. Like, I'm seeing good talented people putting their hard work and effort into redecorating this level. Like, if you want to redeco an upcoming top 1 with lacking decoration already, and that's also at the 9 Circles level, I would recommend trying Azure Flare, given that Aiden recently made an open verification, so that means it'll get some views, and given it's miles harder than our current top 1, I think it needs a redeco, because I think it would be more fitting than its current decoration. But that's because Azure Flare is actually worth your time, because 1, people actually have a reason to care about the level, and 2, people have actually put effort into that level and it actually has some decent history to back it up. And it wasn't born out of a need for views. As for the deco of Aquamarine itself, without any redecoration attempts, it's like, we already have this. It's called every 1.9 level ever and Sonic Wave. There's nothing original about this. It's literally Sonic Wave Infinity original version from 2016, but bad. I know how 9 Circles levels get views, but like, I can't even see a 5-year-old obsessing over this level. There's nothing to even speak of. I've basically forgotten the exact specifics of the gameplay in like within 5 seconds of even it passing through my eyeballs. And the sad thing is that RobTop would actually rate this, because this would be rate worthy, and something like Fonktown or Shiketsu isn't, apparently. So if you're out there and you have good decoration skills, decorate something else, like do Azure Flare or apply for like a creator contest, because some of the stuff I've seen is genuinely impressive. Don't waste your time on a layout like Aquamarine, because it's pretty much doomed to fail, and if it doesn't, it'll just go down as the most annoying, attention-grabbing top 1 of all time. Besides, it probably won't even be top 1 if it ever is released, because we have levels like Silent Clubstep that are very near release, and once Silent Clubstep is top, like a good majority of the upcoming top 1s are considered easier than Silent Clubstep, so they're all pretty much just off the board, because buffing them will just kind of ruin the level. Alright, now let's talk about the theming. There is no theme to speak of, except for the unofficial redeco attempt to this level. The level has no resemblance to an ocean, and it's not Aqua. I mean, even Congregation has more atmosphere and theming than this level, like, come on. I mean, whether you like or hate Congregation, that statement kind of applies. In terms of song choice, the song is actually pretty decent in my opinion, and I made a layout with it that my brother decorated and supposedly is going to verify, but it's sad to see how now the song is kind of forever associated with this pile of garbage. Also another nitpick, but the song has nothing to do with the theming of an ocean either, but whatever. Now let's talk how this level could possibly be even improved. This is going to be a bit of a long one. Now let's start with gameplay. For first, this whole thing is just completely unredeemable in terms of gameplay, but if I was forced to actually try to improve this, I'd say the first thing you want to do is you want to make the level a lot longer. You want to also make sure that the gameplay is actually well balanced, unlike Sakupen Circles. That way it at least has some more originality to it, so that it's like it's also an XL level, so that makes it slightly more original. Honestly, I would just get the people who are redecorating it now and have them redecorate it, because most of them are actually really good. But I'd probably go for like, let's try to make this, themed around an ocean, so that you can focus on it being an ocean and less about its 9 circles. There would also be no legacy or LDM mode that gives you the 1.9 Sakupen Circles sort of look, because that just nerfs the level and also it looks bad, and it has no historical significance. I would also probably scrap some of the wave gameplay that's just kind of repetitive from Sakupen Circles and add some interesting wave gameplay gimmicks or something a little more unique. Although if we're talking for real, at this point I just scrap all of the gameplay and only use the song, because that's the only part that even I think is actually good about this level in the first place. This is purely hypothetical. I don't think anyone should actually do this, because all it's going to lead to is a mediocre level, because the way that it was created kind of just makes it unsalvageable to the point where at this point you should just make your own original project instead of trying to remake Aquamarine. But it's more of just for the sake of the video, because I need to figure out how to improve a level if I'm going to criticize it. So overall, I'm not going to pretend like this actually matters too much. Like, the level's pretty much dead, and once AOD is placed, everyone will just switch to making Wish.com quality ripoffs of AOD instead. Can't wait to see the Abyss of Brightness, and then just have that be an Abyss of Darkness remake. I mean, I guess if we're talking upcoming top 1s that are slightly better and actually have a chance of getting finished and rated, that I don't like either, we can talk about in Dramalek. But that's a story for another time. The reason why I chose this level instead is because levels like Happy House or any other ripoff of Sakupen Circles or Slaughterhouse doesn't really have a chance of getting rated, with the exception of the Rock House, obviously, and possibly Cosmos. Aquamarine actually could get verified and rated, which would lead to more dollar store ripoffs of Aquamarine, which itself is a dollar store ripoff. Let me know if you want a video on Azure Flare or Dramalek, which I think could become the Morbius of Geometry. Please subscribe so I can feed my family and hit 2K. Other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.